And I'm booing with my buddy Julio on this one. Say hi.
What's going on?
So, question. You've used Bad Juju in both games, correct? Or did you have it in
I
D1?
have. I did.
What is your favorite version of it?
Um. Well, I didn't put in too much time with it in D1, nor in D2, nor did I have the catalyst in D2. But I will say that, although I think it was maybe a little more consistent in D1, I think overall it's just a better gun in D2, in big part from the ability to get the damage buff on kills that they added to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you take the time to get good with it, it's a really underrated pulse rifle.
Yeah, and I know people, like everybody in our friend group knows we fucking hate pulses. We're not pulse rifle players. You know, we've been hand cannon players since D1, right? But this is a pulse rifle that I will definitely say is awesome. I actually really enjoy this pulse. So I think that's part of the reason why I love it so much, is because it's just different almost from like other exotic pulses. I didn't mind Outbreak either, but I was never a fan of things like Blast Furnace and stuff. I was just never really a big pulse rifle fan, but I do really like Bad Juju. I don't know what it is about the gun. I don't know if it's the way it looks or just how it feels, but it's really nice. So I could definitely agree. It's just a fucking awesome weapon.
I did kind of like pulse rifles in D1 towards the end of the game's lifespan. I know I probably put like fucking 15,000 kills on my one hopscotch Pilgrim I got because I fell in love with that gun.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously in the end I always came back to running my Palindrome or my Ice Luna, my Whale from Future War Call. The hand cannons in D1 felt so good.
Oh yeah, 110%. I really did like, I used a lot of autos in D1. Believe it or not, I used like autos and sidearms. I used Dreg's Promised a lot, and I used shit like Monte Carlo. I used Grasp on the Lock. I was still never really big in pulse rifles, but I always still loved hand cannons. I remember I ran Palindrome, and it actually took me until Rise of Iron on PS4 to finally get an Ias Luna. I never like, because I was on PS3, and so I never got to use Ias Luna. But I always did use like other hand cannons. I was my RNG in D1 was super fucking unlucky. I actually used a lot of weird shit in D1 because I never got Last Word. I never got Thorn to drop. I never got the Thorn quest ever. I never got Last Word to drop. But I did have Hawkmoon, and I fucking loved it. Oh man, I loved Hawkmoon. Hawkmoon was
amazing.
That was an awesome hand cannon. Aside from like the autos and stuff, I actually used so much Hawkmoon it wasn't even funny. But now it's a matter of, in this sandbox, because currently I love Bad Juju. Most people use Bad Juju now. They know what it does, they know how it feels, and they've seen what it can do. So I'm not really like, you know, I'm playing, but I'm not really like going in like too much. You know, when I get String of Curses or whatever, people should know what's going on. So when you compared it to when it came out back in year 2 in season 7, how would you compare it to this sandbox?
Well, I'll say this much. I haven't used it in this sandbox. I haven't used pulse rifles in this current sandbox, really, because they piss me off.
I mean, same.
But I will say as much that I think it has the ability to compete, and I think it's underrated, like I said. If you take time to get good with it, it's a gun like Thorn, it's a gun like, you know,
even Ace in this sandbox,
yeah,
with the way Ace is.
in this sandbox. But it's just not in the meta, so everyone ignores it.
Well, yeah, you know, because a lot of people, when they think of like good pulses, a lot of people jump to Sacred Providence, Bygones, Blast Furnace, and you know, those are just a couple examples. You know, like people no longer think of Outbreak or Bad Juju or anything like that. Most people jump to Bygones, Blast Furnace, Sacred Providence. Even Go Figure at times. Go Figure being a 4-round burst is what kept it, like, is what's keeping it around. Granted, you don't see it as much as Sacred Providence or Blast Furnace, but you see Sacred Providence more than anything. And just with Bygones and Kill Clip is just ridiculously good. So, I mean, I feel like this pulse rifle would have actually a lot of potential to be in the meta. Granted, I'm glad it's not, because it is a really good pulse rifle. Also, this guy should stop maining a Ganora's X.
Yeah.
But honestly, I really
This
do
guy
enjoy
should
this
put his
pulse.
air until down.
This pulse is
Well, it's
really
one of
good.
those things. It's like not so much in D1, because I feel like it wasn't as big of an issue in D1.
Mhm.
But in D2, you know, in the past year or so, definitely. The biggest problem that I have with metas is the fact that there's so many options in the game of what you can use, what you can play with. And something that people don't realize is just because something is in the meta doesn't mean that it's the absolute best for that person.
Yeah.
Some of it is lack of practice. But, you know, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you know, you want to have fun. And, like, for me personally, and I know for a lot of other people out there, I can't log on to Destiny and run, you know, NF Dustrock Wardcliff or Spare Ration Spinebender Wardcliff all day, every day. And, like, sure, I could take the time to get good with it and body kids and, you know, just be in the meta, but that's not fun to me.
No, it's not.
And that's not what I feel comfortable and good and, you know, enjoy using. I enjoy, you know, running the SMG melee builds or running Ace of Spades or, you know, some of the older hand cannons, the older weapons in the game, because that's what I have fun with. And that's what I've, you know, have experienced and I know that I have fun with. So that's what I like to run.
Exactly.
And if you put me in a lobby with Ace of Spades right now, and then put me in a lobby with Spare Rations,
You're gonna be better with your Ace.
I would do so much better with Ace, because that's what I enjoy using, and I just feel like I'm better with 140s in general.
Yeah. I
Not
agree.
that the 150s are bad, they're
No.
technically better. I just feel better using 140s, so I perform better using 140s.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
think that people don't give stuff enough chance like that. They just fall into the meta, and then there's all this stuff that, you know, they never know they might enjoy so much more, but they don't use it.
I should have kept the shotty out. Yeah, like, I think back in year 2, like, even amongst the 180 meta, like when Luna's How and NF were, like the hard meta in the game, I feel like other things were still also viable, because you saw them a lot, right? But I didn't, like, it wasn't like an every game thing. I don't know if it was just me, but I honestly didn't see them every single game. I saw them very frequently, but it wasn't every single match. And like, I was still, when Thorn came out, I mained Thorn even within that meta very, very consistently. I had a lot of fun with Thorn, and I feel like part of it is like a practice thing. Like, granted, yes, I used Not Forgotten, and I had it, and I did use it because I really enjoyed the hand cannon, but I enjoyed Thorn way more. I feel like if people took the time to practice with other weapons instead of instantly falling into a meta when one appears, there would be a lot there, because there is a lot more viable things than just Dustrock NF, Spare Benders, and, you know, things like that. There's a lot more viable things in this game, but it's just, I feel like people do fall into a meta really hard. Like, yeah, Like, it's sort of upsetting that a hand cannon like Sparrow did fall into the meta though, because I was using it back in year 2, like before it became super hard meta. Like people knew about the hand cannon, it was a good hand cannon, people were using it, but it wasn't the most used hand cannon in the game. You know, you were still seeing Ace of Spades, you were seeing NF, you were seeing Thorn, and all these other weapons. But it's just a part of the fact that now Sparrow Ashland's blown up, YouTubers started using it and displaying it, showing the potential that it had, and a lot of people just gathered around that hand cannon. And we got a 44 defeat game with a 3.6. Bad Juju, still really good. I don't care what anyone says. It might not be the hardest meta, but this is a really good pulse rifle. Stop sleeping on it, man. This pulse rifle is nuts. It's super good, and it just absolutely shreds. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I got another video in mind. I'm gonna try and get it done. It's more of time consuming, so I'm gonna try and pump that out here in a little bit. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, drop a sub if you're new. Don't hit it twice if you're already subbed, because then you dumb sub, and I don't want you to do that. Either way, I'm out. Later. Julio, you got any goodbye messages?
Don't fall into the meta, people.
There we go. Don't fall into the meta too hard. All right. Later.